On a trail of greatness, got me feeling weightless. Player haters hate this, cause they can't make this.
Welcome back to another episode of Change Your Pace, aka Change Your Pace Network. This is your host, Carlton James. I'm with Eric Ruiz here. He is an entrepreneur. He owns two businesses, The Outlier Lifestyle and also The Greats Production. He does videography and also does fitness. So that's why you can see why he's fit now, because he's constantly in the gym, guys. But Eric's going to tell you a little bit about himself. We grew up in the same town. We went to the same high school together. But he probably have a little bit more background to tell you guys about.
Yeah, as you know, we're from Floresville, but I'm originally from San Antonio. Lived there since I was born, 6th grade, moved to Floresville, and I would say Floresville is my hometown. That's where I became a man, I would say. Graduated from there, moved back to San Antonio. I mean, there's a lot of little in between there. I went to A&M Kingsville for 2 years, moved to Austin, moved to Portland, but now we're back in San Antonio, so that is a little bit about my backstory. That's all you need to know.
With that being said, Eric, like with the moving around a lot, did that make you like a little queasy because you're going from here, going from there? Like,
I like it, man. I don't know what it is about me, dude, but I like moving. I haven't been to a lot of places. Like, I haven't been to outside of the country, but I've been to Virginia, Georgia, Vegas, Cali, Portland, Austin. I don't know why, but I just like moving around. I don't like being in the same spot for a long time. So, shit, I don't know if that's some like underlining stuff for me, but I just like moving a lot.
same here. I move around a lot too. I've been to the great state of Iowa, and most people look at me like, "What's out there in Iowa?" Just go. That's all I can say. Just go. You'll meet a lot of people there.
Like, you're never gonna know unless you do it. I know it sounds all cheesy and shit, but like, you're not. And I think that's why I keep moving around. It's because I always said that, like, I want to travel, I want to move around until I find a place where I want to live for the rest of my life. So right now, San Antonio is home base. I kind of want to, I mean, with Corona and all this shit going on now, I wanted to make San Antonio home base and then just travel everywhere from here until I find eventually where I want to go. So that's the plan. That's kind of always been the plan.
Now, speaking of home base, like, did San Antonio make you want to become an entrepreneur? Because it is a business city.
I would say Austin did, man. San Antonio hasn't been always the best for me. That's why I moved to Austin, was to get away from San Antonio. And then, I don't know, Austin is just so different. Like, even if you're not doing anything there, even if you're just working a 9 to 5, it's just a buzz there. Like, everybody's doing something, everybody's starting a business, people are doing this, that, groups everywhere, networking everywhere. So I think that's kind of what planted the seed. All my friends that I was hanging around with were good vibes and trying to do stuff. Even if they're failing, everybody's trying to do stuff there. Musicians, like, there's always something going on there. So I would say Austin is kind of what planted that seed for me. I always wanted it just because I fucking hate working for somebody. Like, I don't want to have a job. I don't want to be on somebody else's time schedule. So that, along with moving to Austin and seeing the lifestyle of entrepreneur life and all that stuff, is kind of what changed.
Would you say it's a different mindset than a worker's lifestyle?
Yeah, for sure. Because I said this all the time. I said this all the time. Whenever I was living in Austin and I would come back to visit my family, out here it was just so slow. And that was whenever I was working security in Austin. I wasn't on like my own business, but just the buzz. Like, there's a buzz there of everybody trying to do stuff. And whenever I came back home, I'm like, everybody's so content here. Everybody is so comfortable here. Like, nobody's really doing anything. There's no movers and shakers over here. So yeah, it's just completely different.
Like, being an entrepreneur, you must took a big risk by doing something like that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you ain't gonna be making it doing shit that you're comfortable doing. You know, you have to take a risk and you have to like put yourself out there to see what you could do. I mean, it's not for some, but like, it's not for everybody. I mean, a lot of people put themselves out there and figure out like, hey, this shit ain't for me. But I mean, you gotta know. You gotta put yourself in there instead of like always wondering, man, I should have done this, man, I should have started that. Now I can't. So you have to just do it. If you want to, just do it, you know?
Right. Because that's one of my biggest life goals right there is when I turn 30, I'm not working for nobody else. Like, I'm going to work on my own time because I have enough knowledge and I have enough insights to what I need to do to get it accomplished to make my goals come to reality. Like, What are you doing to make your goals come reality?
Striving every day, man. Even if it's a bad day, just keep pushing forward and looking at the end goal. Like, I want to travel the world. I want to work with brands. I want to create I want to create content, videos, photos for big brands like Vans and stuff like that. Like, that's the end goal. And I always see myself there. Whenever I actually look at my life, I can't see me working at a job in the future. Like, I just can't see it. Like, I'll kill myself. Like, I hate to say it, but I can't do that. I'm not the type of person that's gonna work a job, a 9 to 5, like, forever. It's just not in the cards for me, you know? Even if I fail fucking 20 times, I'm still gonna prefer this route. Like, I can't do it. And I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know where that really came from, I guess, but it's just maybe some people just, they have it or they want it.
Like a lot of people tell me, reason why they start is because when they go to work, they're tired of the disrespect, or they're tired of the, like, hey, you're basically like a slave to them, like you're on their payroll, and most business owners, they use the word asset too loosely, calling their employees their biggest asset. To me, I think if you're an employee, you're their biggest liability, meaning they have to pay for you, and they claim you on their taxes at the end of each year. And they don't tell you stuff like that because they want you to be in the dark. What do you say to people that are still in that workers lifestyle, on how can you get them out of that?
It's very simple. If you were to get in an accident, if you were to get sick, if you're in the hospital for a month, what would they do? He's done. Who's next? Hire somebody else. You're just a fucking number. Like, they don't care. It's not like, hey, Carlton is such a good worker. Carlton is so valuable to this company. Like, we have to keep him that no matter what. Like, that's not what happened. Like, everybody would like to think that, but nobody is that valuable to any company. At 9 to 5, you're not gonna ever be that valuable. Unless you're higher up, they don't give a fuck about you. You're just another number. So I know you know that's true. I know you know that's true. So really think about it. Do you want to be in that, or do you want to work for yourself? If you want to be in that, that's fine. Completely fine. Everybody is not made for this life, but just know, if you want to get out, you totally can, and you totally should.
See, I sold health insurance to big businesses, and they had three packages. The first package was for the low end workers, basically saying just the basics, but they wanted them to have a choice, or think they had a choice. The second package was for the mid level managers. They had a family, so they still had a better choice, but at the end of the day, it's not the baddest insurance in the world. But the third package was for all the corporate owners or the corporate leaders. They have the best package in the world. They get more doctors visits, more, I guess you say, more checkups, more everything, and lower deductibles. All because the simple fact is they're in that corporate circle, and that's who the boss needs around with them. And that's one thing that triggered me to be like, you know what? Like, I'm not going back to this lifestyle after 30. If I have to be homeless, I'm going to make it. Be- because I refuse to be on somebody else's dime. And that's the same thing I see and I got from you when you quit your security job. I was like, how in the world are you doing this? But it's your hustle and your grit that gets you going.
I do actually know the turning point. I was working patrol security in Austin, where I was just driving around a car checking on corporate buildings, doctor's offices, stuff like that. And somebody rear-ended me while I was driving on shift. Went to the hospital. They drug tested me. Before I went to the hospital, I got to the hospital, they checked me on me, everything was good. And then they wanted me to stay for like an extra hour to take a drug test. And then I was like, what the fuck, I already took one. Like, I'm out of here, I'm not waiting an hour. Like, I have to sleep. Like, I'm just got in a car accident, I'm out of here. Went home, my job called me and said, hey, why'd you leave? You didn't take the drug test. And I was like, I already took the drug test at the office. Oh, we didn't know that. We didn't know that you already took one. It's like, okay, you already don't know what's going on, you know? So you call me talking some dumb shit, and then they're gonna call me back in like 30 minutes saying, hey, we took you off the schedule because you didn't take that drug test. I already took a drug test. I don't do drugs. I don't do any of that shit. I passed it on the job. Hey, if you don't come in tonight, you're gonna get a unexcused absence or whatever. And I was like, I was just in a fucking car accident last night. Like, I'm sore. I don't feel like going to work. And then after that is when it clicks. I was like, man, they don't give a fuck about me. That's whenever it was like, you're just another number. I was just in a car accident on the job for this company. Now they're saying, hey, you're gonna get written up if you don't come in tonight. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that? And that's what it was another week after that, and I was right after the day. I was like, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. I'm done. I was just gonna get this last check, and I fucking just quit. I didn't put in my 2 weeks notice. Fuck y'all. I'm out.
That's one thing I saw on Facebook. Like this one post was saying, if a job doesn't give you a 2 weeks before they fire you, why should you give them a 2 weeks before you quit? Because they're just out there for their own interest. Now, becoming an entrepreneur, you're the same way, but you're out there trying to grind hard and make sure your ends meet and make a little bit more money on the side. But it depends on what kind of entrepreneur you are. So, what kind of entrepreneur are you?
Dude, I'm just grinding, man. I don't have employees right now, and I don't know when I will, but it's stressful, dude. Don't get me wrong. I have bills to pay. I have to make ends meet, just like you said. It is stressful as fuck, but it's a different kind of stress than a job. I would take this stress any day over, damn, I can't go out because I have to go to work tomorrow. I can't go out and eat with my friends because I have work at 6. Like, if I go do this, I have to come home, eat, and then go to work. Like, fuck that. That's what I don't like. I don't like being on somebody else's schedule throughout the whole week, and then the weekend it's like, oh, finally I get to relax. I'd rather have the entrepreneur life where it's like, hey, if I don't do anything, nothing's gonna get done. I'm not gonna make money. Like, it's on me. I'd rather have it that way. So that's like a big thing for me.
I had a friend of mine I work with, and she was telling me, like, hey, I need to pick up a second job because I don't have enough income coming in. And when you have a salary job, no matter what time you go in, what time you leave, you're getting paid the same pay. Right. And with this job, I was like, hey, I have to do the same thing too. That's why I work Lyft or DoorDash on the side and make some ends meet. But then I thought to myself, like, why am I doing that? Putting more stress on myself when I could be building my business. And that's what I started doing, is just building my business, learning with my business, reading books to get myself going. Like, how do you get yourself going when you feel that urge, that second source of income?
Well, I've said this on social media all the time. I don't live outside of my means. I live very humble. I'm super basic. I'm super structured, and I do the same thing pretty much every day. Like, super structured, eat the same thing, don't live in a crazy apartment that I can't afford. I did that in Austin, where I was like, okay, I have $200 left after this check every fucking like other week, you know? I did that already. I live in a studio, go to the gym, don't buy a bunch of crazy shit, pay my bills, don't have kids. If I keep my bills low, I keep the stress low. And I say that to everybody. Like, when you have kids, whenever you have all these obligations, it's taken away from your freedom. You don't have the freedom that, hey, I'm gonna try this new business. Like, you have a kid, or you have something, you have family, you have whatever. It's like, well, I can't fucking quit this job because people are relying on me. With me, I don't have any of that. I don't have anything holding me down. So I could take risk. I could do whatever I want. I could just make enough money to get by and be fine. So I don't see a bunch of stress like that where I need to pick up 2 jobs, 3 jobs. I just live under my means, you know? And that's something my dad told me. He's never live outside of your means. And my dad's one of the best role models I could have about like money and stuff like that. He retired from 2 jobs, is getting retirement from them, making shit, I don't even know, like $6,000 a month still on retirement. He just golfs all the time, about to pay off the house. Like, he is a military man, higher up in the military, so we grew up in that. So like, modeling him is like, that's what I want. I want to retire. I want to just live my life, not be stressed out about some shit, and it's just good. Like, growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. Like, I saw the come up. Like, we lived on the south side of San Antonio, super ghetto. Moved to Floresville, shit started getting better and better, and now my dad is just fucking retired life, golfing and just living life now. Like, he's super good with money.
That's one thing that pushed me. Like, we grew up in high school together, so like my mom didn't have all the best toys in the world, and but she made things work the way it's supposed to work. Like, I was fortunate enough to play sports, and that's why I channeled all my anger. And then when I got out of sports, I didn't know what to channel my anger to. So that's one reason why I joined the military, because I wanted just to get away from everything. But something kept pulling me back, because the people that supported me in high school kept in touch with me, and by them keeping in touch with me, it allowed me to see what I need to do to be successful. And I linked up with everyone, networked with everyone that I used to hang out with or talk to, and they told me the same thing. need to start your own business, because by starting your own business, you can dictate what's going to happen next in your life, and you don't have to live on somebody else's dime. And that's one lesson I took from everybody that came to me, mentors, business owners, or even coaches. Even my high school football coach, sometimes I still reach out to him sometimes. I guess one of the last questions I want to ask you is, what's the biggest lesson that you want to teach everybody?
The biggest lesson. I don't have a biggest lesson, man. Because it doesn't resonate with everybody, and most people aren't going to do anything. Most people aren't going to get out their ass to do anything. Like, I see this in fitness, I see this in entrepreneur life, I see this day to day in relationships, I see this in 9 to 5. So I mean, if somebody's going to hear this, they already heard what they want to hear out of this interview. Like, me giving them one more sentence is not going to push them to do much, you know? If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. If you're not, you're not. Like, most people aren't going to do it. So I don't have a big fucking spiel at the end. Do more and become more every day. That's my slogan, you know? If you want something, go out and get it. If you don't know, learn it. Like, there's no reason to not know anything. If you want it, you'll get it. Simple as that.
Well, that's a great take for today, guys. If you like this content, please like and subscribe to me on my YouTube channel, and also my Instagram channel at Change Your Pace or Change Your Pace Network. If you can find me on Facebook as well, you can see all the gyms that we put on there, even giveaways. And to find Eric Ruiz, you can find him at
Outlier Lifestyle on Instagram, Facebook page, The Grace Production on Instagram. And yeah, if you need me, I'm sure it'll be in the description. So yeah.
Thank you guys, and have a wonderful night.